Welcome back, Spartans. This is JAG, aka Leonidas, and on today's video, we're going to be covering the best decks to use for the Elixir Marathon. I'll be showing you what decks to use for each stage, and how to use my triple Elixir deck and my infinite Elixir deck. As always, a couple things before we start. Every Tuesday, I release a new Clash Royale video, so don't forget to sub so you can follow those as well. Every Thursday, I'm going to be releasing a new COD, mobile, or Warzone video, so keep an eye out for those later on. Now, I have qualified for the second round of the World Championships for COD Mobile, so keep an eye out for that as I'm going to be releasing some videos in the future. The first deck I used for both the ramp up and double elixir rounds was the log bait deck. Now, I found this deck that it allowed me to win pretty easily, and I didn't really have too many issues. I'm not going to show how to use this, but you can see it right here. You essentially got your gob barrel, your Inferno, etc. and all that. Try and bait them out if they do have log or arrows with your Goblin Gang or your Princess, and then throw that Goblin Barrel as many times as you can. It's really not too hard to use, so even novices should have no issue using it as well. The next deck I used was the one you see in front of you, and that was used for the triple elixir round. Now, this deck comes down to a few crucial cards and how you're going to use it. It's basically going to be the Sparky with the back, along with your Giant Skeleton. Use those to defend, to counter push. You're going to drop that Miner in once you see that Giant Skeleton get on the other side. It's going to do a lot of damage. It's also going to take any cards that would be shooting at the Giant Skeleton at that Miner, which is going to help the Giant Skeleton get to that tower. And you use that Lightning to essentially annihilate anything else that might be there defensively. I'm going to show you a video on this soon, so we'll cover that, and it'll give you a bit of an example on how to use it. Alright, so as we can see here, we're going to be starting off. I got the Miner in hand along with your guards, along with the Lightning and the Log as well. They're going to be rocking kind of a Velk, Mega Knight with a Loon as well. So right off the bat, you're going to be able to do a little defensive. I wanted to cycle to the Sparky, that's why I placed it there. I used that guards just to kind of tank in advance. I had to use the Miner, I didn't want to. They used the Lightning well in that case, but you're going to see the Sparky do what it needs to do, which is essentially just be that defensive setup. I'm going to drop those bats in behind. They're really great if you can get them behind that Giant Skeleton like I did there. Again, drop that Sparky in behind. If you can get that Giant Skeleton Sparky setup like I do now, that's going to work well. And then you're going to get that Miner in there too. Normally what it's going to do is it's going to distract any cards that are shooting at your Giant Skeleton, and then it'll go at the Miner, or you're going to distract the tower, which is going to go at the Miner. And as you can see, it's going to help get that Giant Skeleton out to that tower. And as soon as you do that, you're going to get automatic deck damage with that major bomb that's going to be able to take it out. In this case, we didn't need to, but you can see there as well, if you do have the possibility, you're able to set up all the threes, you can swing that Lightning as well as for that fourth card there. That's going to be huge, and you're going to essentially knock out the 3 towers pretty easily. I actually, with this deck, most of the time beat everyone 3 crowns on every single match. And it's really because they can't do too much. I didn't see too many rockets. I saw a lot of lightnings in there. Sparky's still going to work well even with it, especially if you get the Giant Skeleton in front of it. I mean, there's no way they're going to really be able to counter push that lane. If they're smart, they push the other lane. That's kind of what you're going to have to keep an eye out for. But use that Sparky, like I said. Use that for counter push. Get that Giant Skeleton in front of it. If you can get the bats and the Miner like you see there, it's going to be end all, and that's it. So this deck's not too hard to use. Keep that in mind. Try and emulate that for the matches that you do as well. So the final deck that you see here is actually the deck that I used for the final round, which is the Infinite Elixir round. In this case, you're going to see it's an average elixir of 4.9. You're going to see it's very similar to my triple elixir deck. I just kind of modified it a bit with more spells. And mainly that's going to be your Poison, your Rocket, and your Lightning. There's going to be 2 different sets of styles. I'm going to explain briefly just now how to face one specific type of deck, which is basically where they have a deck and they're just trying to take out your main crown tower as fast as possible. And the way you're going to defend that is essentially use your bomb tower, use that Poison for any graveyards, which they're going to have. And then from there, you have to push that opposite lane with everything else as fast as possible. If you can do that, you can hold out. I did lose that match that I did actually face that type of deck. And that's just because I didn't realize that until too late. But I figured at least I'd give you my my wisdom that I learned from my loss. Now, the other one is just going to be every other standard deck, which isn't going to go right for your main crown tower, which was the majority of the decks. And this deck's going to work very well. I mean, you don't really have to worry about getting that Sparky or that Giant Skeleton to that tower. just use those spells constantly. You're going to take out any troops that are defending, which is going to be the first thing. And number two, you're going to eventually knock down the tower as well, just by playing defensive anyway. So you don't really need to push too hard with this deck, and we're going to see that with the replay coming up now. So with this deck, I actually won every single match. Well, of all the matches that I won, which was 6 of them and 1 loss, I 3-crowned every single time. So with this deck, you're going to want to play aggressive, especially with Infinite Elixir. Just go ahead and attack right away. Drop the Giant Skeleton, drop that Sparky as well right off the bat. I wouldn't drop the Sparky generally right by your Princess Towers, especially if they have a rocket. It's probably not the greatest thing, so I'd advise doing against that. That's something that, in hindsight, I probably would have learned and tried to do. But in this case, what you're going to see is you're going to see me drop, essentially, poisons. You're going to see me drop rockets, lightnings at that tower on top of the troops that they have defending. In this case, I just use the poison just to knock off that flying machine. You can use that bomb tower at the bridge like you see here. It's going to be able to defend well. It's going to keep it away from poisoning that will hit your Princess Towers and the bomb tower as well. And then you're just going to keep playing defensively. I mean, the Musketeer's got a decent range, and as you're going to see, I'm going to switch up lanes over here. Once there, once there. I can use the lightnings, which is going to help take out the towers, take out any defensive troops. There's really not much they're going to be able to do. I had one match that was essentially just a battle of the bridge, and neither of us was going either me closer to their towers or them coming to mine. And mainly it came down to me just winning that fairly easily still, because I was able to just use my multiple spells, and that's what a lot of the other decks aren't using. So we're going to take advantage of that. And in this case, I mean, I missed that rocket absolutely horribly. But otherwise, you're going to see I'm going to be able to use the poison. I'm going to be able to just defend alone with the Giant Skeleton. That death damage is going to take out anything there. Sparky's going to be able to as well. You got a lot of hard counters in this deck, and there's not much they're going to be able to do. Especially with Firecracker too, when they have mass troops all together. I mean, you're going to get a lot of value for that 3 elixir card as well. And then same thing, I mean, you're going to see me use rocket, lightning, poison, and basically that's all it is to this. There's not a huge amount of skill per se that's necessary in this. I find with Infinite Elixir it's almost like a spam your cards, but there is a little bit of playing off the different lanes as well, so it might take a bit of practice, shouldn't take too much. Again, play that bomb tower at the bridge if you really need to. Drop in that Giant Skeleton, it's there for defense, and you're really going to be relying on your spells with this deck. I was looking at other decks as well where I can attack the main Crown Tower. I have made them in the past for Infinite Elixir decks. I figured those do require a little bit more skill, and I figured this was a little bit easier as far as making it better for everyone. So I did this, and you're going to see that I can still get that main Crown Tower anyway. So hopefully this helps. I wanted to make this a little short, quick, so that you can at least see all the different types of decks for the Elixir Marathon and how to use them as well. That's the end of this video. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that bell notification, and like the video. If these decks work for you, show some love in the comments down below. If this didn't work for you, tell me what decks did and post them in the comments down below. This is JAG signing off. I'll catch you in the next video. See you later. Peace out.